Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack. Today we are going through a LEGO minifigure collection and we're focusing on the character Ultron. He's a supervillain from the Marvel Universe, and I think he was portrayed pretty darn well in the Avengers Age of Ultron movie. We're going to be going through this collection chronologically from the years when they were released, what sets they came out in, and how much they are worth. They all started coming out back in 2015 to, of course, coincide with the release of the Avengers movie. And this here is Ultron in his Phase 1 armor, and he came out in the set Attack on Avengers Tower, one of the cooler LEGO Marvel sets out there, at least in my opinion. The way they portrayed his broken body was pretty cool. I like how his face is trans clear so you can see through it mostly. That is kind of how it looked in the movie at this point. And the detailing on the body, of course, matches along with everything else, and it's all kind of torn up and kind of barely keeping itself together. The best part of this for me is the evil looking face that he has printed on the head, and this Mark I armor version of him is just $4. Now this technically isn't Ultron, at least not as a character, but he did take over the Iron Legion, which is kind of an extension of himself. And two of these minifigures also came out in the same set. I like these guys a lot. They look sort of like, you know, traditional Iron Man. They have they are the armor that is the Iron Legion, but the inside is a cool trans orange. And interestingly enough, this minifigure is actually worth $5, even though there's two versions of the guy. But I think his cool factor has really sort of outweighed the exclusivity of what is Ultron Mark I. Then moving down the line, we get Ultron Prime, and it came from one of my favorite sets from the Marvel Universe. This is the Hulkbuster Smash set, and now Ultron has really sort of started to realize the potential of his power, and his body got a lot stronger. The piece used that makes that sort of larger lower jaw on the minifigure head doesn't look that good. I mean, I see what they were going for, but I think it just sticks out a bit too much. The print for his face still is very good. I like the mechanical detailing that goes along the back of his head, and it was a good choice to mold his body in sort of the darker metallic silver color. That looks pretty good altogether. He's still a pretty cheap minifigure, coming into about $3.50. And then we get our final-ish version of Ultron. This is Ultron Prime when he's in sort of his final form, his strongest form in the movie. And you can see the detailing for the metal around his body has become a little bit more sleek. It arcs around a little bit more in like a concise muscular structure. And now his head has been completely covered at the top, and this is where the mold that makes up the lower jaw sort of matches up a bit better from the top and the bottom. The interior of the head is just a trans orange headpiece. In the original set he came out in was the Avengers Quinjet City Chase, but he also appeared in a Comic-Con set that had technically no exclusive parts, but he did come in there with some of his sentries. He is $8 in total, and speaking of sentries, these are some more, I don't know, you can't call them henchmen, they're almost extensions of really what Ultron is. This is one of the guys from the Iron Man vs. Ultron tiny set. It's almost like a battle pack or something. The detailing is very similar to what we have from Ultron Prime, but the accent color now is blue. I think it looks pretty good. This version of the guy with the stud gun is just $1, while this Ultron Sentry with the backpack and the top layer for the head is $2. And this is kind of an odd anomaly, but the same version of this guy, this is another Sentry. He was part of the Comic-Con exclusive set. Nothing about him is exclusive, none of the parts, none of the prints, but he's the only version of an Ultron Sentry that has the lower jaw piece. For whatever reason, that makes him $8. And now let's move up to the year 2016. This is the last fig and technically the final version of Ultron that we've ever gotten, and this is Mighty Micro's Ultron. It's hard to say whether he's modeled after Ultron Prime or Ultimate Ultron. Prime had just the lower jaw piece and the red accent color, while Ultimate Ultron was molded in the lighter silver like this guy. Doesn't really matter. He's a pretty goofy looking guy. I really do like the expression for his face actually. And just like every Mighty Micro's figure out there pretty much, he is around $3. Now these are the Ultron figures in order of their general evolution. They all came out pretty much at the same time, but this is them progressing throughout the storyline from the Age of Ultron movie. I think all three look good. I think the sentries look good. Generally speaking, in terms of detail, I like the way this collection looks a lot. If we were to ever get another version of this character in LEGO minifig form, I would like to go back to the origins with the Crimson Cowl. And that is it for this little collection review. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.